the goalkeeper, but he can only parry into the path of the oncoming Okambi. Karl Toko Okambi blazes an effort over the bar. Remains Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. So it's taken us 10 minutes to have a first attempt. Switzerland have been camped inside the Cameroon half. You did wonder whether it might be coming from them. It's the indomitable Lions who've come closest to breaking the deadlock. Nuhu Tolo has it near side the Cameroon left, on halfway. Fed back into his defence. Ngoué with the ball further upfield. Ongla far side the Cameroon right. Back into his own half. Switzerland not too keen to enforce the press just yet. Happy for Cameroon to enjoy the possession on the edge of their own penalty area. Nkulu feeds one over halfway. There's a battle on for possession, a battle that's won by Manuel Akanji just inside his own half. Now Shaqiri thumps the ball forward. There might be men over on the overlap here. Taken down by Cameroon in the defensive third. Had to be hammered clear towards halfway. Choupo-Moting nods back. Has been a quiet start for him. Not seen much service. Djibril Sarr wins it for Switzerland, and a shot from distance from Granit Xhaka. High, wide and handsome from the midfield man. The Swiss captain of Arsenal on his 108th game for his national side. Couldn't crown it with a goal inside the opening 12 minutes. He got right underneath the ball. Always rising over the crossbar of Andre Onana. Cameroon with the ball back with Onana once again, having released it from the dead ball. Nkulu looking for a pass into midfield. Finds it in the form of Anguissa. Anguissa doesn't find that way through, has to go out around the outside towards Toko Okambi. Quick 1-2 with Choupo-Moting, doesn't come off though. Switzerland have won it back. Djibril Sarr 10 yards inside his own half, gives it to Xhaka. Slips the ball out to the left-hand side. This is Ruben Vargas up against the defender, trying to get his cross in. Vargas does get that ball in, it only ends up in the defensive clutches though. Kulu tentatively tries to clear it, presents it to his opposite number, Vidma. Now it's into the penalty area and Bolo goes down. Referee will have a look. He's holding up the hand for offside. And Switzerland very close to testing the palms of Andre Onana and perhaps more. A shout for a penalty. Everyone looked at the referee, Facundo Teo. It's quite a clear offside in the end though. Shaqiri's pass up towards Mbolo. He was given an almighty shove down to ground, but he'd already overrun the defensive line by a yard or so. Cameroon perhaps can breathe a sigh of relief. Teo, the referee, doesn't have to make a penalty decision. It remains 0-0. You're listening to Off-Tube, an independent studio-based commentary. Switzerland taking on Cameroon in Group G. Thumping ball downfield from Onana is collected by Rodriguez with the ponytail. Goes back to the blue-clad Jan Sommer, should I say. Vidma, near side the Swiss right. Takes it over halfway. 3 Cameroon shirts are on top of him, and Karl Toko Okambi is the man to win it back. Clearance goes into the path of Eric Choupo-Moting, and here's Choupo-Moting. He's juggled it over the defender. Akanji's chasing Choupo-Moting, gets a shove from the defender, goes down, shoots into the hands of the goalkeeper. Jan Sommer looks around just to check all and sundry. All seems to be okay. He's bowled that one out well. He makes the save. A great play from Eric Choupo-Moting just to get there a fraction of a second before the defender chipped it over the head of Manuel Akanji. Got himself into the penalty area, got the shot away. Then came the shove into the back. Don't know if it was enough to warrant a check of the VAR monitor. We've not received any information about a check happening. The shot had already been taken and it was a tame one, far apart from the flair with which he beat Akanji on halfway. Just seemed to slow up slightly to allow the Manchester City defender in to make amends. Remains Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. And Bolo holding the ball up on the edge of the box. Tries to find Shaqiri, does find Shaqiri, gets a cross in. Hits the body of Tolo and goes behind for a Swiss corner. So defence to attack for Switzerland. Xherdan Shaqiri winning it, and it looks like Shaqiri who will take it. near side the Swiss right. Chicago fireman, recently of Liverpool, most experienced man in this Swiss squad. 110 caps as of today. Whips it in on the left boot, hits the first defender. That's headed away. Cameroon will try and shimmy out of defence. It reaches Toko Ekambi. He's got a job to do to hold that ball up, and he loses out to two red shirts. Shaqiri comes down the near side Swiss right. Into Vargas, back to Shaqiri, but it's an errant ball and it'll be won back by Choupo-Moting. Forward Cameroon will come. Early openings for a counter-attack. Toko Ekambi tight to the left-hand touchline. Floats it infield. Finds Choupo-Moting. He's got a lot of red shirts around him. For all his trickery, he can't hold it up from four Switzerland men. The Swiss will start again with Yann Sommer. It's been end-to-end stuff in the last few minutes. We've had chances for either side. We've seen Yann Sommer tested in the first instance by Eric Choupo-Moting, who pounced onto a loose aerial ball on halfway, running it all the way through the Swiss half, only to pad it quite steadily at the Borussia Mönchengladbach stopper. We've seen Switzerland camped out for long periods of this opening 16 minutes on the edge of the Cameroon box. That's where they're trying to get now, but a pass is stopped by Nkulu on the edge of the box, and Anguissa tries to find a way forward, has to go back to do so to the feet of Nkulu, clears up field. Now back to Collins Fye, down the line he will go. Hongler tight to the touchline, under pressure, goes back to Collins Fye. Long ball upfield, but Choupo-Moting is an isolated figure in green. It floats over his head anyway. After 17 minutes, we're still goalless in this Group G game. Xhaka on halfway. Goes back to Elvedi. Akanji now, still inside his own half. Choupo-Moting chasing. So goes back to Elvedi. Through the middle to Mbolo, dropping deep. Has Xhaka over his shoulder, but the pass is no longer an option, so it's back to Remo Freuler. Forest man. Already 45 yards out from the Cameroon goal. Into Rodriguez, who brings in Mbolo. Locked in a midfield confrontation, he shares a pass with Xhaka. Now out to Freuler, he'll go the long way round, out towards the touchline. Cuts it back towards halfway, Akanji now. Choupo-Moting looking to block off the efforts going forward, so it's brought into Freuler. Still only in the midfield third. Back towards Xhaka, whipped out to Rodriguez, far side the Switzerland left, into the penalty area. Might there be a chance to turn? Vargas has got there, keeps it in on the byline, back to Rodriguez, cross comes into the front post. Headed clear by Anguissa, only as far as his opposite number on the edge of the box. Freuler, cross towards the back post. It's just ahead of Widmer. That's better from Switzerland. They've managed to carve away for the first real time through the Cameroon defence. Just too much air on the ball from Xhaka. And that goes out for a goal kick to Andre Onana. Well, it's 0-0. 18.5 minutes played. Switzerland up against the Cameroon side, who stole a lot of hearts in the Italian 90 World Cup. Switzerland's run to the quarterfinals at Euro 2020 that had Europe on tenterhooks. 19 played. Freuler, 45 yards out, picks up an errant ball. His pass too is also errant, so Castelletto can get there ahead of Xhaka. Back to Onana, who clears from inside his 6-yard box. Up towards Mbuma, who drops onto the ball, and Facundo Teo watches as he's bundled to ground by Rodriguez, and so an equal measure. So a free kick to Cameroon signalled. The Brentford man wins it just inside the centre circle, still in the Cameroon half of the field. Mbuma, who was born in France but representing the nation of his father, opted to switch allegiances in June ahead of the World Cup. Was capped in warm-up matches. 20 gone, still no score. Ungué over halfway for Cameroon. Down the line towards Mbeumo. Floats a long ball forward, looking for the head of Choupo-Moting, but he's doubled up on. It's a tactic that Switzerland have tried to employ a few times now. To good success. He's only got through once as the Bayern Munich man. That was latching onto a Swiss midfield lapse, a ball too heavy towards Manuel Akanji, and former Stoke man tipped it over the City defender's head and raced down towards the penalty area of Jan Sommer before the Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper was able to make the save from a, albeit a tame effort, edging towards the halfway point in the first half. Switzerland have it on halfway. Freuler to Akanji, near side the Swiss right. Feeds it down the line, looking for Xhaka, and he's found Xhaka. Xhaka will win a free kick for the Swiss as well. Takes a lot of force to knock his muscular figure over, but Nuhu Tolo has managed it illegally, says the referee. Swiss will move it forward, opting to go the conservative route, out towards the left-hand side. Cross comes in from Rodriguez, half hacked clear by Ungue. Collins Fye with the clearance up by the corner flag. Floats it long upfield. Bumo seemed to be the intended recipient, but it's gone out almost on the full. It bounced on the halfway line and skipped for a Swiss throw. So still no goals at Al Janoub Stadium. Swiss have it again on halfway, as they have so much of this contest so far. Happy to hold the possession, not seeing much urgency from either side yet. Still early days. We have seen 3 goalless draws in this World Cup so far. We only saw 1 in 2018 in Russia. Offensive ball is allowed to roll through to Andre Onana. He'll choose the bowl short to Jean-Charles Castelletto. Castelletto forward. Collins Fye gives it to Anguissa, who's got nowhere to go by his corner flag. End up against it by Xhaka, does manage to find Fye down the line. He's now got Vargas to deal with, plays it into his defence. It's allowed to run by Ungue almost riskily. Does get boot to ball in the end, but he had Bielan Bolo over his shoulder. Swiss win it back in the centre circle. Elvedi into Shaqiri. Happy to play back into his own half under pressure. Trade a pass with Akanji. Widmer near side the Swiss right. Nothing on for him going forward. Can't prick out Djibril Sow. The Swiss have to soak up the Cameroonian attempts at a counter-attack once again. Anguissa, centre circle, sees Mbeumo wide right, now he's encroaching on the penalty area, turns inside Vargas, rides a second challenge, he'll knock it back again. Other men on the left-hand side, Karl Toko Ekambi, possibility of getting a shot away, he's got a man on the overlap, he'll use him. Tolo gets the cross in, it hits the ankle of Sylvain Widmer, and out for a corner it goes to Cameroon, and that's the most we've seen them in the last 15 minutes. The indomitable Lions only had 1 shot up until that point. They've had to weather the storm as Switzerland knock on the door of their penalty area, but now it's their time to shine. Corner that looks like it'll be taken by Karl Toko Ekambi, near side the Cameroon left. Sommer manning his penalty area. Just in front of him is the bleached head of Eric Choupo-Moting. Bumo is over to steward this corner too. There's 1 man short, that's Vargas. It will be Mbeumo of Brentford on the left foot, curls it out towards the back post, and the header wasn't, or the attempted header wasn't far away from Castelletto. It's picked up at the back post, swung deep towards the back stick. Swiss defender gets to it, and Switzerland will come up trumps this time at the far post. Vargas keeps that ball alive. It looked to be Castelletto once more who was rising and wasn't too far away on both attempts of knocking that ball on target. Switzerland survive though. It's all the way back downfield now with Onana. 24.5 minutes, still no goals to show for the excitement we've had. You're listening to Off Tube, an independent studio-based commentary. Indomitable Lions in possession. Castelletto forward. He will play it to Collins Fye on the right-hand side. Looks for Mbeumo with the run. He's has a bit of a confrontation with Ricardo Rodriguez, a bit of a block that's not really enough to warrant any action from the Argentine referee, but certainly enough to impede the run of Mbumo. It's shrewd play from Ricardo Rodriguez there. He's his football in Serie A for Torino. Vastly experienced, 101 caps. Switzerland will come forward again, this time with a cross-field ball in towards Vargas, who chested it down, tried to look for the run of Vidma, only finds a green shirt. Cameroon will clear, held up well by Choupo-Moting on halfway, pumped forward by Anguissa, into the left-hand side, Toko Ekambi, corner of the area, up against Vidma. Vidma gets a foot in on the ball, can't stop Cameroon moving forward though. Hongla, 35 yards out, will spread the play in a long shot from distance, never really got connected with properly by Collins Fye. Always rising, wry smile on his face. The Al Thai man plays his football in Saudi Arabia, not too far from the nation he calls home. He was far from the target. It remains Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Sommer's ball along the turf at Al Janoub Stadium. Switzerland trying to build. Threaded ball forward towards Gibril Sao. Couldn't quite connect with it. Allows Castelletto in towards his corner flag, and Castelletto will clear out for a Swiss throw-in. Rigobert Song, a man who's seen many a battle in his playing days, offering his technical insights from the technical area. His side have defending to do. Vidma throws in short towards Freuler. Back to Vidma, 2 green shirts upon him, one of which will concede the corner. So still a chance for Switzerland. Well, that seemed to be the call that everyone was expecting, and certainly the call that Sylvain Vidma was expecting. The assistant referee has gone with a goal kick. The referee has sided with him. Vidma had plenty to say about that as he trotted back towards halfway, but fact remains, Cameroon will have the ball from a dead ball situation. It's 0-0. 27 minutes played. The Swiss now have a throw-in. It's going to be Vargas to cede possession of it towards Rodriguez. Rodriguez goes long over the top, looking to try and find a flick on from Mbolo, non-forthcoming. Cameroon will clear. Battle on for possession in midfield, it's won by Anguissa. Collins Fye has to go back to his goalkeeper for want of a better option. Banana kicks long, over halfway. Rigobert Song looks on as Eric Choupo-Moting rises in the centre circle, but can only flick his header on into no man's land in the Swiss half. 17 to go of normal time before half-time. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Rodriguez halfway inside the Cameroon half, does play it into the feet of Vargas, who's upended by Collins Fye, who shrugs his shoulders and feigns his innocence. The free kick given by Facundo Oteo. He's just impatiently, as if tried to hack through the between the legs of Ricardo Rodriguez, who's felt the full force of it. The free kick goes Switzerland's way. Seemed to be given a yellow card for his troubles there. Switzerland will come forward, whipped in towards the front post. Headed clear by Hongla. Out towards halfway. Choupo-Moting plays it down. Anguissa on halfway now. Uses his left flank. Brings in Toko Ekambi. No way through for him against Remo Freuler. Has to go back towards halfway. Hongla with a crossfield ball. Taken down on the instep of Fye. Mbumo further forward, up towards the corner of the area. 1-2 with Choupo-Moting into the penalty area now. A shot goalwards, fumbled by the goalkeeper. Where will it go? Has to be speared behind by Vidma. Cameroon attacking with confidence now. Mbumo picked it up on the right-hand side with a 1-2. Spread it through the middle. It was Martin Hongla who made the shot. A weak hand to it from Sommer. Enough to keep it out, but it could have rolled out anywhere. Thankfully for him, Sylvain Vidma was the nearest man to it, and he thunders it behind for a corner. Well, Hongla, in the immediate aftermath, disappointed he didn't do more to test the goalkeeper. I thought it was a rather tight angle. Played that ball well across goal. It was on target. And the Mönchengladbach goalkeeper had to make the save. Not a confident one either by the looks of it. So 30 gone, here's the corner, whipped in towards the front post, defensive header away. It'll drop on the edge of the box, mistake by Xhaka, heads it backwards from the 18-yard box, but the cross from Collins Fye can't make anything of it. And Switzerland, at the second time of asking, will clear their lines. Half an hour gone, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Kulu, the man in possession. Cameroon back to their goalkeeper with Anana. Kulu into Castelletto. Looks for a crossfield ball. It was always an ambitious one to try and find Tolo. It's headed away by the defence, but picked up by Choupo-Moting 40 yards out. Now Tolo will come into play. They're on the edges of the attacking third, but they've had to go back into the midfield to keep this move alive. Plenty of cover back for the red shirts of Switzerland. Hongler, forward he goes, in towards Anguissa, who's moving fast, out to the left-hand side. Choupo-Moting has come from his central berth to try and engender something, has to go back to halfway once again. Castelletto for Cameroon, still 0-0. Into Ungué. Mbeumo picks it up on the right-hand side from Fye. Quick 1-2. Now the Brentford man has it again. Two red shirts. Bit of trickery to get away from one, but the other. Well, that's where the move ends for the moment. Only half cleared though. Straight down the throat of Fye. Anguissa 40 yards out in the central position. Toko Akambi sees Tolo arriving on the left flank by the corner of the area. Forced away from goal by Vidma. So back to the centre circle. Still in possession of Cameroon. Ungué. Forward to Ongla. Collins Fye on the right hand side, bends across in, header away from Nico Elvedi on the edge of the box, helped clear by Rodriguez up towards Mbolo, who's still inside his own half by 10 yards or so and can't fashion a pass into any other red shirt, so it's up in the air for a moment. Switzerland will recover it. Here's Djibril Sow. Now he's got options coming forward. Streaming away is Ruben Vargas. He's picked up on the corner of the box. Cameroon have a few men back, crossed along the corridor of uncertainty and slammed clear by Castelletto in the nick of time. Briel Mbolo was right over his shoulder. There's a slip up from Cameroon further up the field, which means that Switzerland will have a throw in halfway inside the Cameroon half, but it could have been so much more. Castelletto reading the situation well. The ball was fizzed along that 6-yard line by Sylvain Vidma. And Mbolo had what would have been a tap in at the back post. Castelletto equal to it, slams it clear. Cameroon survives. So 33 gone. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Switzerland to go back inside their own half with Akanji. He's the deepest lying red shirt. Now into Sommer on the edge of his 18-yard box. Nico Elvedi, the next port of call, playing it along that defensive four. Now into midfield for Shaqiri. Down the line towards the corner of the Cameroon area. Now Mbolo. Sees Shaqiri over his shoulder. Shaqiri bends a dangerous cross in, and well, there were men in the centre, foremostly Ruben Vargas. It's over his head and will be allowed to bounce out for, I think it's gone for a throw-in on the far side. Head in hands, it has gone for a goal kick in the end. Spares a few blushes for Xherdan Shaqiri, who saw his teammate in an opportune position, just put too much power behind his aerial ball. And Anana was allowed to watch that one behind in the end. 34-minute mark, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. This is an off-tube, independent, studio-based commentary. Group G opener for these two sides. As Mbeumo controls an aerial ball forward, knocks it down for Choupo-Moting, and now the ball out to the right-hand side. Collins Fye arriving, gets across in towards the centre. Toko Akambi was arriving, and it was a really well-timed tackle by Sylvain Vidma that keeps it surely at 0-0. He managed to divert it away from goal. Switzerland pick it up on their own byline and had that ball clear. And now they have a free kick inside the Cameroon half, 45 yards out from goal. But let's talk about that Cameroon chance. It was right onto the toe of Toko Akambi. And Sylvain Vidma racing to get there before the Cameroon man. He just gets enough on the ball with his right foot. It's a brilliantly clear tackle. And Switzerland have their Mainz defender to thank for the fact it remains 0-0, because Karl Toko Ekambi herring into the box, sure to add to his 12-goal haul for Cameroon. Now here come the Swiss. Vargas, edge of the box, out to the right-hand side. Here's defensive saviour Widmer. What can he offer in attack? Switches, passes with Vargas. Inside the Swiss right, played into the middle. There's a clash as two green shirts and one red come for it. It's Anguissa who's beating his opposite number, Freuler, to the ball. Tries to snap the ball downfield, and Bumo racing to get there, and he's taking a chunk out of Elvedi as he does get there, and cops a yellow card for his troubles. Elvedi there half a second ahead, and Mönchengladbach defender was clattered. In fact, it's Collins Fye who's picked up the yellow card. Brentford man was a couple of yards behind, coming across from a central berth. Collins Fye, well, he escaped a yellow card earlier on for a tackle on Ruben Vargas, and he wasn't going to escape it 2 times over. This one, Nico Elvedi. Collins Fye of Altai, first man into Facundo Teo's book. So we've got 9 minutes of normal time remaining in this first half. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Widmer just motions for his team to calm down as he goes back to his goalkeeper Sommer. Crossfield ball for Switzerland, hangs in the air and it's flicked on by Vargas, but to no one in red. Ungué, the man who receives it. Deep inside the Cameroon half, switches it to their near side left. And Jernan Shaqiri is about to come back onto the field. We didn't actually see him go off. He's giving his head a rub. I don't know whether it was a head injury or what had happened. Now he's back onto the field, and Switzerland are back to a full complement of 11. Mustn't have been picked up by the TV cameras either. Testament to Switzerland's comfort in possession, that it wasn't immediately obvious that they were a man light. Still 0-0, 37 gone. No way through the defence for Karl Toko Ekambi, who's dropped back. It is threaded forward the second time of asking though. Collins Fye out to the left-hand side. It's a very fluid formation that Cameroon are using. Looked as if it'd be a 4-3-3, but you've seen Samuel Ungué drop back into defence. Karl Toko Ekambi's come back into the midfield at times. Zambo Frank Anguissa from the midfield, happy to go forward. The Swiss have it in the centre circle with So. Slips the ball to the near side, Switzerland right, and Shaqiri. Widmer is on the overlap. More central now to Remo Freuler. Choupo-Moting putting off some passing angles for him. So back to Elvedi it is. Rodriguez on the left-hand side, back to Elvedi just over the whitewash in the Swiss half of the field. Still goalless. Akanji finds Elvedi. Now a chip ball forward from Freuler, just over the head of Granit Xhaka. That attack will peter out, it will drop out for a Cameroon goal kick. Cameroon have had the better chances so far. We saw a run from deep, Eric Choupo-Moting, before he failed to really test Yann Sommer with a tame effort, following a superb bit of skill to nick the ball over Manuel Akanji on halfway and race down towards the Swiss goal. Another brilliant cross from Collins Fye, just half a yard or so ahead of Karl Toko Ekambi, who was stretching to get on the end of that ball before Sylvain Widmer took it off his toe. Now the Swiss coming forward again. Breel Mbolo up towards the left side of the defence. Flying tackle. Referee says it's a clean one. And a corner kick to come. It was superbly timed. Mbolo stealing in towards the back post, and stretching Castelletto got there. Had to get his foot on the ball. And the Nantes man did exactly that. And Mbolo went flying, felt the full force of the tackle. Corner to come for Switzerland. Into the 40th minute. Vargas is the man to take it. He's got a Akanji in there, Elvedi, Shaqiri too, not probably the man you'd pick for a header. Here it comes from Vargas, bending, it's headed wide, that was the chance. Nico Elvedi, 10 yards out, central position. allowed a free header. Nobody seemed to attack the ball. It planted right onto his head. The Mönchengladbach man doesn't get his angles right. He knows what a miss that was. His head's in his hands. Glances it wide of the far post. Best chance for Switzerland so far. It remains a Swiss 0, Cameroon 0. We've only really seen Remo Freuler come close once, and that was from an offside position when he was played through by Granit Xhaka. The Cameroon defence holding tight. It wasn't tight that time. The corner allowed to swing over two defenders before Elvedi, defender himself, got a proper centre-half's head to it. Forced it wide off the post in the process. Ungwe picks out Anguissa on halfway. Anguissa with a quick 1-2 with Collins 5. Gets himself down the right-hand side. Looks to cross in towards Toko Ekambi. Only half cleared. Choupo-Moting gets a shot away. It's blocked twice by Elvedi, who earns the plaudits from his goalkeeper Sommer. A corner kick to come. Cameroon knocking on the door once again. Swiss defence holding strong. Wasn't properly dealt with in the first instance. Elvedi feeding it straight to Eric Choupo-Moting. Choupo-Moting's shot straight into the Mönchengladbach man once more, and it's arced out for a corner on the far side for Cameroon. Brian Mbeumo sets the ball down in the corner arc. Choupo-Moting the furthest forward of several green shirts. This one's whipped in. Not Jibril Sow, it's Breland Bolo who got the header away, and now Sow will chase it out towards the corner flag. Step overs are plenty from Tolo, but doesn't mean he gets past his man, has to play it back out towards the edge of the attacking third. Chip from Toko Ekambi down the line. Anguissa up against Vidma. Can he get a cross in? Trying to twist and turn. Anguissa with the step overs, using Tolo now out towards the halfway point in the Switzerland half. Cameroon still in possession, but the Swiss holding firm. Five yards into the Swiss half, floats the ball forward, taken down on the chest of Martin Hongler. Up against Elvedi, tried to find the run of Mbeumo over his right shoulder. Switzerland saw it coming though, only half cleared. They'll drop towards Anguissa, 30 yards out. Overhead kick to try and feed the ball into the penalty area. It was bouncing awkwardly. The two number 3s were going after it. Sommer gets there eventually, but Vidma just had to shield that one from Nicholas Nkulu to allow Jan Sommer to get off his line in time and win the ball back. So 0-0, approaching half-time, and even in this tournament, the land of inflated additional minutes at the end of first halves and second halves might be struggling to get more than 3. There's been no real stoppages, no substitutions, only a couple of incidents where we've had to stop play for free kicks. And most crucially of all, no goals. Does seem to be a factor in this World Cup. It's either a low-scoring game or we'll see a one-sided rout. We've seen a 7-0 Spain hammering Costa Rica yesterday. Earlier in the week, England putting 6 goals past their opening opponents, Iran. Last night, one of the thrillers was decided by a single goal. Canada dominating for much of the first half against Belgium. Michy Batshuayi, as good teams do, only needed one chance right on half time to break the hearts of John Herdman's side. We're in the 44th minute here. Ball, you're not missing anything by the way, the ball at the feet of Andre Onana, and he's just walking it around with the white boots to match his white gloves inside his penalty area. Switzerland have booked the trend and copied Iran in the usual trend, and have copied Iran in naming 4 goalkeepers for this tournament. Perhaps due to the fact Jan Sommer was injured for a period coming into this tournament. Jonas Omlin of Montpellier, Gregor Kobel of Borussia Dortmund, just 7 caps between them, and none at all for Philipp Kuhn of Red Bull Salzburg. Cameroon have gone for just 3. Davis Epassi has 5 caps. He plays for Alaba in the Saudi League, and Simon Gapunuetnabu. Please excuse me taking a moment to make sure I get the correct pronunciation. He plays his club football for Marseille. He's only 19 years of age, yet to make an appearance for the Indomitable Lions. 45 minutes are up. We're about to learn the extent of the added time, but first Sow is coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Finds Shaqiri. On the right-hand side, the overlap is with Vidmer, crosses towards the back post, and Bolo's header's up in the air. It's not immediately dealt with by Umgaway, and he flashes the shot, the clearance out for a corner ball. Had more time than he bargained for, the Mechelen man. Got right underneath it, sent it straight up into the air and out for a corner. 2 minutes is the call for added time. We've had 30 seconds of it now, and we're going to continue with a Swiss corner. Sensational time to score, right on the break. That's what Belgium found last night against Canada. Will it be the same for another European powerhouse? Whipped in towards the back post. Oh, the header's flashed goalwards and wide. Akanji there. And once again, the Swiss defender fails to find the target. It was Elvedi in the first instance. And now Manchester City's Manuel Akanji outrises everyone. Heads it wide of the far post. Should have done better, a man of his stature. Hands were in the air from Ruben Vargas, who put it absolutely on a plate for his teammate. His grimaces in the crowd too. It was several yards wide in the end, just didn't get the angle right. It was a glancing header when it needed some firm contact. So we've just 30 seconds left of the 2 minutes added in the game at the Al Janoub Stadium. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Nane kicks into the Qatari sky. Vidmer heads it up towards halfway, won back by Anguissa. Forward to Choupo-Moting on the turn. He's got 4 red shirts around him and he's managed to twist away from them all. Plays it back to Anguissa, takes a heavy bump, referee sees it. He's going to opt for the free kick, will penalise Djibril Sow. The referee in there just to wait and see if any move was blossoming down the Cameroonian left. It was first Sow and then Freuler into the back of Zambo Frank Anguissa. And so a free kick to end the half. This half could have been ending quite differently. He had that header from Manuel Akanji, found the target just a moment ago from a Swiss corner. Now it's a Cameroonian set piece. We're playing over to allow this, so the final play of the first half here in the Group G opener. It's 45 yards out, about 20 yards left of centre. Jan Sommer, central in his goal, now moves away to the left-hand side. Over it is Toko Ekambi and Mbumo. Two-man wall, it's floated in, straight into the penalty area, bounces once, easy take for the goalkeeper. It was in a no-man's land between the players clustered at the front and the back end of the penalty area, and with that, the referee from Argentina brings proceedings to a close. So join us again in 15 minutes, the half-time score from the Al Janoub Stadium. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener. It's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened. They might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener. It's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened. They might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Ekambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Akambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0. Half-time in the Group G opener, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0, chances for both sides. It's the African outfit who've been on top, and they should have opened, they might have done, but for an excellent challenge from Sylvain Vidmer to deny Carl Toko Akambi racing in to put away a Collins Fye cross. Manuel Akanji heading wide from a good position right on half-time. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're